Oh, hi there. I am series binging. I've been catching up on some shows and pop culture so I can be in the know when I see a new meme. Speaking of culture, so much is changing so fast. I never realized how much of a pampered bear I was. I went from bear tending patrons and live audiences at my bar to drinking alone in my bedroom. It's a sad life. Seriously though, fix my own meals? I'm a bear. The meals come to me, fresh and ready to be mauled and or devoured. Nothing will ever be the same again, or at least for the next year or two. We live in a very social society, and that was our culture till now. Now we'll be in the socially distant and disinfect everything alternate universe Earth for a while. And I'm in the United States, where apparently we have an administration so petty it left us completely unprepared for anything like this. Can you imagine walking in as a big boss on the first day of your new job and seeing something called the Pandemic Response Team that was created by the boss before you and scrapping it just because it had his name on it? The Pandemic Response Team sounds like it would be pretty important. Maybe a smarter boss would have made it better instead of scrapping it. Because of decisions like this, the U.S. was the country hit hardest by the coronavirus, and our lives will change drastically. I just thought of all the things I may never do again. Can you imagine sitting or standing with a crowd of people and someone in the crowd coughs? Jeez. It was even happening earlier in the year while some orange was telling us it'd be like the normal flu we see every year, even when his experts were telling him otherwise since January 2nd. I'll never want to sit in a sports arena or stadium again. To be honest, watching a bunch of humans focus on a ball is kind of boring. I still can't believe some of them were getting paid millions each time they did that. I can't even get a quarter every time I hear, "It's a bear." Other things that won't be the same: theaters, movies, and or stages, concerts, dances, raves, clubs, bars, malls, classrooms from preschool to college, conventions and some conferences, theme parks, mass transit, cafeterias, restaurants, diners, churches, weddings, funerals, presidential rallies, parades. Ugh, it makes me so depressed. Maybe the news will cheer me up. Hey, yeah, that's a great idea. Welcome to Barely a Bar's Woke52, Week 20. I'm your fantasy league pal, HilaHila. My team has all mascots. We're gonna win it with Gritty. He's got game. The U.S. hits over 90,000 coronavirus-related deaths as states begin to loosen restrictions and Trump encourages to ignore guidelines. Over 40 million people have filed for unemployment, the worst rate since the Great Depression. Retail spending in the U.S. fell to an historic low, dropping down a record 16.4% because people are staying home during the coronavirus pandemic. Lifting the restrictions is not giving everyone the feeling of safety that Trump was hoping for, and polls suggest over 72% of Americans are in favor of restrictions, showing that those protesting the restrictions are in the minority. Texas, one of the first states to reopen, had an increase of coronavirus cases this past weekend. It's not clear if it's due to more testing or if the virus is spreading. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell said the U.S. economy could take more than a year to recover from the coronavirus shock. Trump says that he's taking hydroxychloroquine to continue to promote its use even though there's no evidence it works against the coronavirus. Boom, 52 seconds. Thank you for watching. If you like these news blasts, feel free to share or bear with your friends. You can also like, comment, subscribe, and click the notifications alert bell to stay woke 52 times a year in 52 seconds of news. Bye for now.
Second, do what you think is right. Doing what feels good, what's convenient, what's easy, that's how little kids think. Unfortunately, a lot of so-called grown-ups, including some with fancy titles and important jobs, still think that way, which is why things are so screwed up. I hope that instead you decide to ground yourself in values that last, like honesty, hard work, responsibility, fairness, generosity.
All of these transcripts, the notes we found the week before, texts, all kinds of things that now are raising a lot of questions for people about the Flynn prosecution and the Russia investigation.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to figure out what exactly constitutional deprivation was there? What is the crime that people think, Barack Obama and Joe Biden are going to be prosecuted under? To be clear, and this is using the words of President Trump and his lawyers for the last 3 years, any sitting president can get any classified information they want. According to Donald Trump, they can launch any investigation they want. They can tell the FBI to pursue only particular individuals. This is not me saying it. This is what Donald Trump's been saying for 3 years. This was their argument during the Mueller probe. This was their argument during the impeachment investigation, that the president has this kind of authority. So what did we find out? That Barack Obama was aware that about intelligence intercepts on the Russian ambassador when he was talking with General Flynn, that there had just been an attack on our election a couple months earlier. We were still dealing with the fallout of Russian election interference in 2016. There was a concern about a counterintelligence problem with Michael Flynn, and they had a discussion. I'm shocked. I can't believe they had that conversation. What is the crime?
Well,
as far as the president is concerned, he's our president, and I would rather he not be taking something that has not been approved by the scientists, especially in his age group and in his, shall we say, weight group, what is morbidly obese, they say. So I think it's not a good idea.
In terms of the State Department Inspector General's firing, I've read the letter that you sent to President Trump asking.
As the court said there's a difference between an abuse of power and a federal crime. Not every abuse of power, no matter how outrageous, is necessarily a federal crime. Now, as to President Obama and Vice President Biden, whatever their level of involvement, based on the information I have today, I don't expect Mr. Durham's work will lead to a criminal investigation of either man. Our concern